Hey, what's up, everybody? RJ back with another video, and today, once again, for the second time, we got a guest, Justin Lynches. How you doing?
How are you?
Anything been new with you lately?
Nothing much, just hanging around, watching wrestling. The best thing I like to do.
Okay. Today, we're going to talk about a few things in this video. We're going to try to make this a weekly thing where we make videos, talking about, what's current events and things like that. So check us out every week. Still working on a name for the show. Anybody has suggestions, leave them in the comment section. I'd really appreciate it.
Down
as many
below.
as possible. Yep, down below. Today we're going to talk about a few things. Let's talk Randy Orton. We're going to talk about Orton. We'll talk a little bit about TNA today and a few other things. So, what do you want to start off with?
Well, let's start off with the Viper, a.k.a.
Randy
not
Orton.
Legend Killer anymore.
Speaking of which, man, I really enjoyed that gimmick, the whole Legend Killer thing he did for a while.
Well, that was the peak of his career.
I mean, he actually had mic skills in some degree back then, he didn't just talk like this. Here's a Randy Orton impersonation of mine, all right? My name is Randy Orton.
That was pretty good.
What'd you think? Because I mean, he does that all the time now. You notice that he'll come out there and he'll just wait. Like he's just trying to get that big pop for his name. You know what I mean? Trying to get that big pop.
I mean, I liked him back in 2005 in Evolution.
I mean, I still like Randy Orton. Do I like as much as the Legend Killer gimmick? No way, no. I never have since, really. But I do like him. But man, is he falling off the wagon or what? I mean, he hasn't really done anything in a while. I mean, he went from main event in WrestleMania 25, and that's his last main event. I mean, he hasn't main evented since.
And he lost this WrestleMania. I mean, he got bruised terribly by Kane.
He went for the RKO a few times, but man, yeah, he called. The funny thing is, he caught 2 choke slams, and Kane caught 0 RKOs. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with him, really. You know what I mean? I mean, last year he did win, but I mean, he still wasn't in the main event. I mean, he wasn't even close to the main event. He was like, what, the first hour or something? Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, Hornswoggle could kick out of a choke slam from the top rope. It's not that big of a move.
I don't think Hornswoggle could kick out of anything.
Well,
if you hit Hornswoggle with a Hogan leg drop, it'd be all over.
Imagine the Great Khali just off the top rope getting a choke slam.
Now, here's what I got to say about Great Khali. If Randy Orton loses to Great Khali, I think it's time to go ahead and pack his bags and head to South Beach. You know what I mean? He needs to call up Dixie Carter. No, he needs to call up Dixie Carter and say, hey, if you let me beat anybody here in this crap company, I'm still better off than dropping it to Great Khali. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do you totally agree that he's a better heel than a face?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, especially with the character he's got. Now, his character now is nothing face about it. He's crazy quiet. He don't, and when you ever notice him when he's, doing interviews and stuff, he talks with big spaces between words. Remember that time he was like, hey, Vicky, nice hair.
He's going to become the next Valentine.
Well, he wasn't saying it like that, like, hello. He wasn't saying it like that, but he was, I don't know,
His career might be going downfall now.
It's not good his character, it's just that they don't do anything with him. He's always in the middle of the show. When do you ever see him main event anymore? I mean, on Raw, he was there last week in Miami, and he wasn't even in a match during the show. He was a dark match after the show. So, I mean, that should tell you something.
I know, right? Maybe he's having some problems.
You think he's in the doghouse with the writers and everybody? You think he's?
I think he needs a major heel turn real quick.
Not too happy with him right now, kind of like the Miz.
Yeah, the Miz he's doing a lot of crap outside the WWE right now, so.
Yeah, that's true too. I don't know. I don't know what's up with Randy Orton. Give me your opinion on it. I've been talking on and on here.
Well, I basically think that Randy Orton is not the way he's supposed to be wrestling. I mean, he's not good as a face. He should be better as a heel. The WWE should actually try to convert Randy Orton back to a heel, because that's the best at what he does. I mean, I don't know if that's even possible anymore, you know, with all the corruption and the PG stuff. I mean, what could Randy possibly do that could change the people's thoughts about him?
I don't know. I really enjoyed the, speaking of heel turns and stuff, I enjoyed that storyline he had with Randy Orton and Triple H, you know, for WrestleMania 25, which was the last main event he had. I mean, then when he RKO'd Vince McMahon and punted him, and then RKO'd Stephanie and tied Triple H's, you know, hands to the ropes, and then Triple H went to his wink wink house, you know, with his wink wink wife, and you know, did all that. That was a really good storyline. I did enjoy that. And then again, he was heel. And I didn't even mind his matches with Christian. I think he did. I know there's Christian fans out there, and I like Christian, but I'm not a fan of his in-ring ability. I like him way more on the mic and the stuff he does outside the ring.
Correct.
But him and Christian had some pretty good matches. Like, that was, late last year or early last year? Was it early last year? Because it's been a while. Christian was out for a while. But that was the last time Orton seemed even relevant to me, you know, back when he was doing that and World Champ here, back and forth. That was the last thing that he's done. He hasn't done nothing since. I mean, it's crazy.
I know, now you got Sheamus as your World Heavyweight Champion.
I'll tell you one thing. I guarantee you, if WWE had to choose who was going to be on the cover of WWE 12 now, I guarantee they would have changed their mind and put someone besides Orton on the cover. That's how much they're really, you know, have. They don't seem like they have the faith in Orton like they did. I mean, he's a third generation superstar. You know,
right.
he's.
Could you actually say he's becoming a jobber?
No, I wouldn't say he's becoming a jobber. I'm just trying to say he's the lowest possible. You know, to me, in my eyes, this is just my opinion here. I'm sure a lot of people watching will either agree or disagree, but to me, he is right. You know the main eventers, right? The guys like Triple H and Taker and Cena and Rock and all these guys that, you know. If you put all four of those names I just mentioned, or however many I mentioned right there, you put any of those guys in the ring, and you know it could go any way. You know what I mean? If you put Orton against any four of those guys, you know one of those four guys are going to win. I'd go as far as to say, as Punk versus Orton today, Punk would destroy Orton in a match. I mean, Orton would have to lay down for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I remember a time
back
Brock
Lesnar
Edge
and Randy Orton. How would you think that would go?
Oh, well, Lesnar would crush him.
Think he would actually
I don't
crack
care
him
if it's a
in the
real
jaw?
fight or a scripted fight. They'd have Lesnar crush him, and if it was a real fight, Lesnar would just run over that man.
I would feel really bad for Randy Orton if that was a real match.
If that was a real fight, Randy Orton would last maybe 20 seconds.
Max.
Unless he can really, he can use his speed against him, but Lesnar would destroy that man.
I mean, you saw what he did to John Cena. He almost killed him, and not even trying.
Yeah, I saw that. That was some crazy stuff.
You think he's gonna get fined for that hit, Brock Lesnar?
I don't think so. I think it was completely accidental. I mean, if you watch it, he didn't hit him with full, but he pulled back. He kind of grazed. If you watch it, I've watched it over and over, and he kind of grazed the bottom lip. You know what I mean, of Cena. I mean, he clearly, that wasn't a full. What I'm basically saying was he still pulled the punch. If he hit that man full force in the mouth right there, Cena would be missing teeth. Guarantee that.
What happens if he got knocked out?
Besides the fact that that'd be crazy interesting television.
Linda McMahon's probably not going to be happy that there's blood on her show after she.
I mean, I don't think that. They don't watch it as much as they used to. From time to time, I don't know if you notice when someone bleeds and it's an actual match, I notice that the refs tend to put gloves on like it's like UFC or something. How they put those rubber gloves on. Uh-huh. And they used to. I remember back a while back, I've seen a Punk match back when he had long hair. That's how long ago it was. He was bleeding, and they actually stopped the match for a minute and make him get out of the ring. I'm glad they don't really do that anymore because that was terrible.
What about chair shots? Do you believe that chair shots to the head should be back?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, they do cause concussions, but the funny thing is, if anyone that does the research, big, giant chair shots to the back like the Game or Taker took, those things have just as much bad consequences or repercussions, if you will, as a head chair shot. I mean, that messes up your back, messes up your nerve system.
That probably is more damaging.
In a lot of ways it is. But the thing is, it's not instant damaging. If you hit someone in the head, odds are they're going to bleed right there. If you hit someone in the back, there's less chance of bloodshed. And I honestly think that's the reasoning behind it in a lot of ways.
Possibly. But, everything has to follow the rule book.
Yeah.
So, you just have to deal with it. Randy Orton was huge in 2005 when he was heel.
He was huge way after that. I mean, he was. I'd say 8-9 months ago is when it really started falling down for him big time. I mean, last year wasn't as bad as this year. Having a match with Punk, I mean, it wasn't for the title, so clearly it wasn't anything to be proud of. Compared to his other accomplishments. Facing the world champion
Legacy.
here. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that he did that were way, superior to facing Punk at Mania in a non-title match. It's before Punk did all that stuff and everyone started hopping on the Punk bandwagon. But
they made his gimmick so bad. I mean, like how they changed it. I mean, like
who are you talking about?
Randy Orton does the same thing he did when he was a super heel, and now all the fans still cheer him for it when he sets up and acts all crazy, and the fans cheer that now. It's crazy.
Yeah. The one thing that really bothers me about Orton, this is the biggest thing. It's not even it has anything to do with if they're pushing him match to match for wins or losses here. This has to do with how I hate how they always set up that DDT that he does.
Spike DDT.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Any we all know wrestling's fake here, right? But we don't want to be reminded of it while we're watching it. You know what I mean? And I'm reminded every time I see that DDT. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just like Cena, every single time he does 2 shoulder blocks. Even The Rock, everyone has a tendency to swing wildly at him after those 2 shoulder blocks.
I mean, that's what they do.
I hate that. I mean, that's the small things like that. There's way more ways to do a 5-knuckle shuffle than to sit there and do the exact same setup every time. How about he just knocks someone down or clotheslines them into it or something? You ain't got to do the same thing every single time.
Well, that's what they're trained to do. I mean, they're not trained to be like a UFC fighter.
I mean, I'm not, for all you Orton fans, I'm not sitting here, saying that he doesn't have abilities. Orton's got way more abilities, but they don't let him show those. I mean, they give him like 5 moves to do every night and stuff. That's not his choice. There's a lot of things he could do. I remember a time he was doing angle slams. He was doing a lot of different things. Remember that move he did, the Christian, where he picked him up on his shoulders and then like slammed him down, kind of like the Dominator a little bit, but a sideways one. I don't even know what he called it. And there's a lot of moves Orton can do. Orton has a fantastic drop kick, but man, they don't use Orton right. They don't do the right things with him, and I really think if I was Randy Orton, this is just my opinion. If I was Randy Orton,
okay,
let's say whenever his contract's up, which I'm not sure when it's. I think it's 2016. I could be wrong. I would request time off. I like 6-7 months to come back and get that big push. You know what I mean? Because they're not doing anything with him, and he wants to be relevant. I call it the Chris Jericho factor because Jericho's a smart man, one of the smartest wrestlers I've ever seen. He knows when his character's getting stale, and the best thing to do when your character's getting stale is to leave. And when you come back, I don't care if it's even with the same character, people will, it'll be refreshing to them. It'll be something new again to them.
The company's going to have a big downfall. That's like saying John Cena had enough and he leaves. The whole company goes down. Yeah,
well, Cena's the main guy. Orton's clearly not. Orton used to be that number 2 guy, and he's not. He's not anymore, and that's my point. If Cena ever came to the point where he wasn't, that guy no more, I think he'd want to take time off too. Mm-hmm. All the greats done it. I mean, you name anybody that's good, or I'm sorry, not good, but anybody that's a big name in the wrestling. There's been periods where they've taken time off for one reason or another, due to injury, due to personal problems, due to something. And there hasn't been one of them that came back and they weren't just as big, if not bigger, after taking time off, because they get some back. You think if Lesnar stayed this whole time, people would be talking about how great it is to see Lesnar right now? People would be tired of him by now. No one would care. Whoa. Wrestlers want to see new things. Bottom line, no matter how much they like a certain person, even though he's your favorite, or depending on who it is, no matter who your favorite is, when they leave and come back, you're going to like them even more than when they left, and that's how it is.
Well, Yeah, that's like with Brock Lesnar. When he came back, that pop was bigger than probably half of John Cena's career. The whole building shook when they were even saying, "Holy shit, holy!" PG just went
Yeah,
downfall as soon as that
yeah,
guy
it
came
was
back.
so loud. It was so loud. I mean, it was crazy.
You know, well,
It was the best crowd I ever had a privilege to be a part of. I can honestly say that.
you got lucky.
Yeah, it was the best crowd.
How was WrestleMania for you?
It was good. It was good, but I already talked about that in another video, so I don't want to talk too much about that.
Oh, that's true. So basically, that's pretty much it for this video, right?
Oh no, we could talk. We got some other stuff here. We could talk about. Let's see. How long is this video so far? Because I don't want to keep people on the same video too.
This is actually up to 16 minutes.
Okay, well we got plenty of time here then. Let's talk about TNA.
TNA. All right, let's talk about TNA.
What's your thoughts on? Are you up to date on the whole Scott Steiner Hulk Hogan feud?
Well, last time I actually saw TNA was about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago.
Well, this isn't on the show. Scott Steiner is not in TNA no more.
Well,
this is a Twitter
you mean
feud.
Razor Ramon.
What? Scott Steiner, not Scott Hall.
I just said Scott Hall, I'm sorry.
I did not say Scott Hall.
They're gonna let that drunk back in the company? I'm like, what?
Dude, Scott Hall. Speaking of which, Scott Hall got arrested. Do you hear about that?
Yeah, I know. I was
Yeah,
gonna
that
say
guy-
they brought him back on TNA.
That guy's crazy,
Having a
man.
beer contest with a free.
That guy. Can you imagine? Remember when JBL had the drink off with Stone Cold? That's Saturday Night's Main Event, I believe it was.
Yeah, and he
back
just threw the beer on the floor.
How funny would it be to see Scott Hall in a drink off with Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I actually wonder who would win that one.
I think it's Scott Hall, dude. I think Scott Hall can throw those drinks down, dude. He's a legit drunk man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would not want to mess with that guy in a beer contest.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He'll throw him back. He don't care if he has a pacemaker or not. He'll throw those boys down.
Be out.
Exactly.
That's funny.
Yeah. What else? Oh man.
Well, there's so much we could talk about. I mean, you want to start off with Brock Lesnar's return?
We could. What would you like to talk about that? You want to just talk about?
I mean, what do you think in his mind made him come back to the WWE?
It was all about the money.
Money?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. $5 million. I mean, people think that he's rich, but he lives a high lifestyle. He needs the money like everyone else.
That's true. He does. I mean,
That's
but
definitely why he's back.
you think that he actually deserves to be at the top?
I don't know. I mean, it's a risky thing for WWE because, I mean, let's face it. He walked out on him in 2004 out of nowhere. Do you really want to put all this build up on somebody, that just walks out? You know what I mean?
True. I mean,
It's a risky thing. I mean, they might be trying to build him up because I know he signed a 1-year deal, but they might be thinking, if we build him right, he might stay longer. But you put all that work into him that whole year, put him over all these people like Cena and everybody else, and he just walks out again. I mean, what's that do for you? You know what I mean? So I mean, it's a risky thing.
Right. It doesn't. I mean, like, let's say, okay, who would you think would be a bigger return? Well, Brock Lesnar already came back, but would you say Goldberg or Brock Lesnar?
A bigger return?
Yeah.
You mean pop wise, or what are you asking me?
Pop wise.
So who would get a bigger pop? I think it really depends on where it's at. Honestly, it really depends on where it's at.
I mean, will they remember? Well,
Brock Lesnar would make a bigger impact by far. I think I take that back. I definitely have to say Brock Lesnar for two reasons. One, the man's younger and he can still go. Goldberg's old and we have no idea what he can still do. And he talks a lot about coming back, but I don't think he's coming back for obvious reasons. He sits there and talks about how, WWE's not kid friendly enough. They've been PG for years, Bill. Where are you? You know what I mean? And Brock Lesnar's a legit fighter. Like they said, he's bringing. I don't know if he's necessarily bringing legitimacy back to the company or whatever, but the dude really, by far, in my opinion, you put him in an actual ring, in an actual fight, UFC rules, whatever, right? In an actual fist fight with anyone in that company. I don't care if it's Big Show, Cena, and Edge, Ric Flair, I don't care who it is, okay? You put him in the ring with Lesnar, and Lesnar will wreck their world. I guarantee that. So, I think, and not to mention, he's a huge star. He brings the MMA market back to the WWE, you know what I mean? He brings the MMA guys back. So, I think that by far, Brock Lesnar's a bigger investment, a better investment than Bill Goldberg. I mean, what's Bill Goldberg? Can Bill Goldberg even suplex anybody anymore? I mean, we haven't seen him in... what shape's Goldberg in? What is he, 45, 50 years old?
You could put this on the video here. You could put a picture of him working out in August, and you see how big Goldberg is. He's still in shape. I would say he's actually as big as he was.
Do you think so?
I've seen a recent picture, yeah. I'll send it to you.
That's good. Okay, send it to me, and we'll put that up on the video.
So the guy's not out of it. I still say that they actually came out with a theme song that I've seen on YouTube, 2012 by Jim Johnson. It's a new song for him, so that might be some type of info of Goldberg coming back.
I'd like to see him back, like I said, but the question you asked me was who would be a bigger impact, Lesnar or Goldberg, and it's definitely Lesnar.
Okay, let's bring somebody else into the picture. Let's say Kurt Angle. We all know that Kurt Angle was a lot bigger than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Kurt Angle's, I think he has too many problems to come back.
Yeah, looks like he has cancer.
I don't know what his problems are. I don't think that's what he's got. Clearly, he don't have that. I don't think. I hope he don't. I don't wish that on anybody. But I don't know. He's what happened to Kurt Angle's arms, man? You know what I mean? Like he's a scrawny guy now. He never used to be that way. I mean, Kurt Angle's usually a beast, you know, and he's used to be a big guy. He just stopped training. I don't know what's up with Kurt Angle.
The only way I could see Kurt Angle coming back is the All-American versus the Olympic gold medalist, Jack Swagger versus Kurt Angle in a match. But Jack Swagger is too much of a jobber now because they don't take him seriously. He was a former world heavyweight champion, and nobody took him seriously. So, you know, with Vicky Guerrero, I don't even know why they still have that piece of shit in the company. Just a waste.
Yeah.
And then they have this Lord Tensei, a.k.a. quotes, A-Train, Mr. Fat Albert's back.
Giant Bernard. And I hope everyone enjoyed this video. We've been kind of ranting on about random things here. But I want to thank you all for watching this. Please comment, subscribe. Once again, my co-host for tonight's video was Justin Lynches.
Thank you.
You can follow him on Twitter at Justin Lynches. Or you can, on Facebook, you can add him at Justin Lynches. Just look through my friends list if you have me on there. And, yeah, so thanks a lot. Would you like to say anything before we finish this video real quick?
Yeah.